Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books, the likes of which will be pretty fresh for anyone tuning in now, since we've been nearly on hiatus for almost all of all of October. Not almost, all of. Guys, it's been a few weeks, and that wasn't intentional, but we are coming back in full force. Maybe not physically in full force, but for you guys at home, we're going to go back to our normally scheduled programming. That being said, as long-winded as that sounded, I'm your host, Joe Tweeton, and joining me this evening, or this night, or hollow spooky hour. Nope, we're not in October anymore. Still spooky. It's 1 a.m., guys, for us. Joining me is the Nick Thomas.
Yeah, nice.
How you
Glad to be
doing?
here. It's been a while, yeah. Oh, your tasty tidbit for today. If you actually think about it, mashed potatoes are Irish guacamole.
Oh my gosh. I just actually realized that doesn't matter to me at all.
No.
But also makes complete sense. Not to squander your little fun fact for the night, Nicholas, but that makes complete sense. Oh my gosh.
Your stomach is growling, bro.
Don't worry, guys. For you sensitive podcast listeners, I will cut out all the gurgles, but Nick heard it plain as day.
No, don't worry. In about 20 minutes, the chest popper from Alien's going to come out.
That is the subtle indication of growling chest poppers. No, it's true. It's true. But that being said, guys, oh my goodness, Nicholas, it has been a hot minute.
Yes.
So
much so I grew a full beard again.
And to be fair, if anyone's new to the channel and just watched the last episode, they might not notice. What was your last beard? What did it look like?
Just had the goatee. Mustache.
Oh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the editor of this whole thing. I should remember, but it has been.
Yeah, see, like if you
It's
look
been a
right
while.
here on this little snippet of last episode, you'll see.
That's right, guys. Being the editor
Cheers.
means I have the
Cheers.
power to show you that. So, that's what just happened. I put a snippet down at the bottom of the screen so you could see for your own eyes the verification and validity of our talk.
Always trying to give Joe more work.
Always more work. It's bad enough I'm trying to insert photos and video content of the things we talk about over the last few months. And I say few months because last month, guys, it was... hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Enough small talk.
We haven't been completely out this last month. You've been floating us on your back with your 30 days of October with games.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, if you were podcast only, I am so deeply sorry. Hopefully you've been backlogging it for a while. There was no official announcement that we were going to do that. It just kind of happened. Personal lives, guys. We unfortunately do not do this for a living per se. We do this because we love it. It's our hobby. It's our passion. And the month of October got really busy for all of us. I mean, all of us except those unemployed.
Unless you want us to do this for a living, then that means you got to get everyone to watch. And we can make money, be monetized. But
Thank you for the shameless plug, Nick. During that shameless plug, I just, briefly had a falling out with admitting my personal life on camera. Thank you for shutting that down with a shameless plug. But in all, truthfully, guys.
Speaking of shameless plug, if you want to see the 30 days of October, check us out on nerdentialsmedia.com.
Or where it's more prevalently and probably updated is the YouTube channel.
That's the YouTube.
Well, YouTube, guys. No, I do.
When we finally get our act together, it'll be on the webpage.
Yeah, but I've been slowly adding content to the to the webpage. Thank you, Nick, for that shout out. But YouTube.com/C/Nerdentials, probably, or just, Google search Nerdentials and go to the YouTube page.
Yeah, that link right there.
The one right here, right below this video, you are absolutely going to find what you want from us, at least. Not what you want in life, but what we're offering.
And while you're at it, if you could, please push subscribe.
That too, guys. Like and subscribe. I'm just saying. It helps. It helps spread the love. If you appreciate what you're watching today, or what you've seen over the last few months from our channel, do all the above. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. That's what you can do. That's the best thing you can do. We're going to leave it at that. Not going to shame anyone. Not even going to shame the YouTube algorithm. We're just going to say, hey, self-promote for us, guys. Come on, push it out there. If you like what you see, push it out. That's what I say. Well, don't know how much context that follows through, but we're going to move on anyway. Forget everything I just said, or don't. It's helpful for us if you remember. But contextually today, you might be wondering why there's some pink fluffy crap behind my back that usually has nothing to do with our particular topic, especially not our introduction, because TV talk, you might see it. Guys, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. We've done a lot of game content. We've been doing a lot of playthroughs, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of first looks. We took a hiatus during October. I did 31 Days of Horror Games. Missed it by 1 day, guys. So sorry. Got close. I was trying to give you guys an hour a day of horror. Silly me. But guys, I would appreciate if you check out the compilation video that I uploaded last week. It's highlights of the funniest and best moments of all those games. 29 titles, Nick. I think I made it to 29. It's one of my best seasonal releases I've ever done.
I still think you still load them up the last few, and you'll be fine. But no, it was actually really good.
They were fun, and I mean, me and Matt hit up day 3, Outlast 2. That was fun. Complications kept us from finalizing that playthrough.
I should have recorded a playthrough and threw it on there for you.
No, I
played Slay Away Camp.
Oh, that might have been fun.
Perfect.
I've seen the trailers. That might have been fun. Also, I'm just flicking crap towards Matt because hopefully he watches this episode. He usually doesn't, but I know if he knows he's being shout out in it, he'll check it out. Which is why we should flick extra crap his way. He knows we love him. But guys, truthfully.
Love him long time.
Long time. But honestly, guys, that being said, honestly, we're just taking a minute. We're taking an extra minute just as a catch up on our podcast because it's been way too long. All of us have deeply missed doing this. And things are changing. Things are catastrophically, in the best way possible, changing for Nerdentials in a great, fantastic way. If you've been following us for the last four years, Nick, can you believe it? 4 years?
It's intense.
Thank you for
Has
that
it been 4 years?
Yep. October 2016. October 2016 is when little old me,
Nerd News and Brews,
and little old Matt launched the whole channel with some silliness, some scary movie playthroughs, and that's why we christened the month of October in 2020. Regardless of how you feel about this year, we wanted to christen the 4 years of having started it with some spooky gameplays. That's where we started it,
I still think at some point for our fans, you should have incorporated Helium Joe.
Helium Joe?
Yeah, you did it more on your Facebook page.
I don't know if anyone will find that. Agreed. If anyone's curious about Helium Joe, I'll make a compilation at some point. But you guys need to leave a comment down below if that's something you'd be curious to see. I don't want to embarrass myself for nothing. So if you guys really want to see it, I'll oblige.
I think we should do a gameplay, let's play for like 15-20 minutes of nothing but Helium Joe. Yeah.
Let's let the listeners vote first. Let them hear a sample, see if they like it, and then go with forward with the project. I'm just saying, Helium Joe takes a lot of effort, and even 15 minutes might kill him. No shame, though. If you guys like what we show you, feel free to request it. I'll do it. I'll suck it up and do it.
One of the things we're going to be trying new with Nerdentials coming up.
Yes.
We're going to try to do a rotation, get some new faces on here. We got a few people lined up, hopefully.
Nicholas, I do have to point out, yes, it's true. Some people are leaving permanently, and some are coming back intermittently, and even more so, some are showing up for the first time. And what we mean by that is we have some upcoming guests that are very nerdy, gaming, passionately oriented like ourselves, and would like to sit in a chair and have the same kind of conversations we've been having for 4 years. On a side note, we've kind of said goodbye here and there to some people. You know, rest in peace, Paul Roman. Love you, bro. You're not dead, but you're still in our hearts. Rest in peace, Jeff Berry. God, we love you, dude. But hey, you know what? Light at the end of the tunnel. We've invited his spirit back for episode 100. So all you long-term fans from 4 years ago, look forward to that. Rest in peace, Lynn. You had a special place in our hearts, and we're just going to leave it at that. We love you, but love you long time. Goodbye. That's all we're going to say. We can't say anymore. We're going to respect the individuals that have been on here and welcome the ones that are coming back. Oh, Matt,
except for Billy. Billy can just go to hell.
Oh, hey, Billy was sweet. And he was on so briefly, I don't even know if he made it into any final cut. Nicholas, come on.
He stole my Skittles. He stole my freaking Skittles.
I don't think he meant it. Don't think it. All right, so come on. Let's talk to Billy later. Let's finish with Matthew. Matthew, you're not leaving, but you're always still around. And it's you're like a leech. You
just called him a leech?
Well, in the sense that when they bite, the only way you can get them off is by pissing on them. And I'm not willing to whip out my dick for that. So he's stuck with us, Nicholas. Long time. Matthew is stuck with us. Long time. And you can blame the leech comment on me, Nicholas. When he asks you what the hell was Joe talking about, blame it on me. It's okay.
The alcohol speaking.
Kind of is.
I just realized I should have gone this way because the boom.
Oh, no. You're fine. It came.
The alcohol speaking.
It's okay. It kind of is. 1 a.m., half a bottle in. Brehan would be proud. Shout out to you, bro, if you're listening to our current shenanigans. He is one of a couple new faces we're going to see in the next couple weeks / months. But guys, not to drag on this whole thing, I just want to say, anyone that missed this or is just wondering what the hell happened to them, like, you know, life happens, and this is where we're at, and where we're going is forward, both digestively, for any of those sounds you heard in your ears, and nerd culture, pop culture, gaming culture. Guys, We're going to keep it fresh. We're going to keep talking about all things nerdy essentials because that's our motto. And keep an eye out for the next couple years because we're going to bloom into something that I have not even labeled yet. Science, flowers, growth. Hannah, you fill in the blanks. Come back to me in a couple years and let me know if you were right. But all I'm saying is, guys, the podcast is back on a regular basis. Me and Nick are the pilots of this craft, and we're going to rotate in, hopefully, on a weekly basis, either a third consistent voice or a rotating voice. Not sure yet, but you're going to hear two of us every week. I'm sorry ahead of time if you didn't plan for that, but that's where we're at. Well, guys, we are going to talk about some TV shows tonight. Thanks for joining us. Let's spill into TV talk. Guys, welcome to TV Talk. It has been a hot second, and, don't worry about any smirks, blushing of the cheeks, or weird twitches of the eye that Nick might be throwing at you. I tend to do this to him. We have a lot of side chatter in the in-between, and sometimes I just throw him into a segment, no questions asked. Although based on the stoic nature of his lips at the moment, I'd guess he's pretty well practiced, and not the least bit concerned about what I'm going to throw at him next. Am I right, Nick?
Not concerned at all.
Not concerned at all. And that is the true sign of professionalism. All right, now that we're moving on, and I'm going to pretend not to have seen anything in the spectrum of now. I'll probably see it in editing, Nick. Nicholas, we are in TV Talk. It's been a hot minute, a solid minute, and even a finite, dimensionally shifting based on your internet minute. We have seen a plethora.
There you go, talking about my plethora again.
A plethora. Can I say plethora?
Oh, it's not what I thought it was.
Nope, nope. Not to be confused with your plethora, but an actual plethora. Much different than your plethora. We're not even going to get into that. Watch last episode for clues, guys. But the plethora of things we have seen this year. We're only going to cover a couple, because this was kind of, honestly, a catch-up episode. Talk about a couple hot topics, and guys, we promise now that we're back on schedule, we're going to hit up more things more often, more frequently, so you're going to get more richer, deeper, more detailed episodes. But for now, we did some catch-up. We've got a couple nerdy, super nerdy shows that we just want to talk about how we feel right now in the moment, about how they're going, and then in the coming weeks, we'll dive in deeper about what's really happening. Guys, if you've seen the thumbnail or the title of this episode, you've probably already clicked on it because you were waiting for us to talk about the Disney Plus original show, The Mandalorian. More specifically, you were hoping we'd talk about the premiere, at least, the pilot episode of The Mandalorian Season 2. No doubt. And guess what? That's what we're doing right now. Me and Nick are behind only by one episode. So guys, in the comments, keep it clean. If you're going to talk about anything, keep it spoiler free for a couple weeks at least. Because the interesting thing they're doing this time around is they are not releasing it in a binge-worthy way. Nay. Not like Netflix, and not like Season 1 of The Mandalorian.
They didn't release it in binge way. It was episodic every week.
Wait, hold up. Did I just completely forget that that's how they did it before?
Yep.
Oh my God.
I waited every week to watch it. That's why I was able to do remember I did an episode by episode review?
Guys, this is what happens when you skip weeks on end of staying in the know with pop culture know-how. And what's worse is, despite the pandemic that everyone in the world is dealing with, everything blurred together, guys. COVID, it happened. I'm so sorry. So, let me recollect myself for just a half second. Alright, guys, you know what? Nothing.
He was joshing you.
No words. Wait, were you, or?
No, I was saying you were joshing them.
I was joshing everyone listening to us now. That's right, Nicholas, you coy co-host, you just, damn you. You knew I was cracking a joke. I knew from the beginning, episode by episode, 1 week at a time. So, guys,
either that or his brain cells are disappearing like Republican votes.
Oh, you had to make it. You had to make it. Correct.
Sorry, I was joking. I was joking.
Welcome to TV Talk. I just love looking at the stoic response you have, where you're trying to forget everything we talked about off camera, just to save face for the next topic. I love it, and at some point I'll showcase some really good moments where that was effectively true.
But do TVs really talk?
They do when two individuals are thrown in front of a television during quarantine and are forced to do nothing but watch TV. At the time of this recording, we've gotten a couple episodes into season 2. Me and Nick have some thoughts about that show and where it's going. And I'm not going to bury the lead at all. That's exactly what we're going to talk about next. So, without further ado, I think the most appropriate course of action, Nick, right now is to, in a really quick 30 seconds to a minute recap, how did we feel? Spoiler warnings ahead, guys.
Warning. Spoiler alert. Warning. Spoiler alert. You have been warned.
You should know this if we're jumping into this now. What were our thoughts? Yours and mine. Let's come to the middle, and how did we feel about season 1, you and me? I had the pleasure of rewatching it recently with my wife. Side note, crazy, not common thing to happen with us nerds, but I did actually manage to rewatch season 1, so it's super fresh in my mind. I know you hold on to things deeply when it comes to shows you love. So I just want to bounce off of you your thoughts on season 1 prior to jumping into season 2. Right now's a good time. Go.
Season 1. I did a review first season on every episode. I didn't actually get to do a full recap at the end of the first season, but...
And that's a little bit of all our faults, because I didn't get those weekly uploads for you, and we didn't get the opportunity to recap the whole thing.
Yeah. No.
Well, going forward.
Yeah. The first season was... It actually grabbed three, technically, of my favorite genres growing up. The Star Wars, the whole, the space, science fiction with the light stick wielding wizards, and the old Western style, and the samurai. It all had a feel of all three of those wrapped up in one. And they kept that feel throughout the whole dang thing. They kept it compelling, and they kept you on your toes with new characters, old ideas, The writing for the first season was fantastic. Because they had an idea exactly where they were going with it, and they had it very well fleshed out. I know we weren't wanting to review the second season yet, but the second one,
Not in full detail, more
Yeah.
like first impressions because it's so early on.
the second one feels a lot different than the first season, because they've already implemented that he's the lone ranger in the outer ring of the quadrant.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
And this doesn't have that feel of completely fleshed out. It almost feels like they're doing a lot of world building right now. It just, this season, the writing feels a little bit more sporadic. It's not as well put together as the first season was. I still enjoy it. That first episode blew my mind. But
Right.
no, everything after that has definitely been world building. They're introducing us to people. They're making sure that ideas are cemented in our mind. They want us to know everything that has already happened. They're using these 3 episodes to not only introduce us to people that we're going to see in the rest of the season, but rehashing people that were here last season, letting us know where everything fell. And
Dude, yeah.
that's what I meant by world building. And it's important to do so.
It's not critical to anything in particular right now. Might be later in the season. I just want to throw this name out, Timothy Oliphant. I just want to be really random with that. If you guys if you're listening to our podcast right now, I hope you're caught up. If not, I implore you to skip ahead to the end for closing, or come back after you've watched the most current episodes. He's introduced in episode 2, so this isn't super crazy critical. But
Episode 1.
Oh, episode 1 even. So, guys, get caught up if you're not. But that Nick corrected me, and he's absolutely right. So, all I want to throw out there is what's cool is season 1 not only introduced a unique genre and style for Star Wars, including the soundtrack, the music, the genre, the cinematography was definitely geared towards a different genre here. But leading into season 1, it continues with the same idea that, hey, this isn't the Star Wars you grew up with, but it is still the Star Wars you love. And what I love about that idea, that throwing those two things together, is that all the directors for this season, including season 1, were all completely unique directors. Guys, on Disney Plus right now, they have the Mandalorian kind of documentary series that literally there's 8 30-minute episodes that cover the complete beginning to end production and scale of season 1, starting with episode 1 that is a 30-minute documentary episode that completely covers a table talk with all 5 or 6 directors that were hired to direct unique episodes of season 1. And it's an enriching experience. It's on Disney Plus. It's on there. It's free to watch. I had some extra time and I was like, oh snap, I need to check out the Star Wars Gallery. It's called the Gallery. The Gallery in Mandalorian is under the suggested categories when you scroll down with the episodes, and it says under suggestions, it says, hey, check out the Star Wars Mandalorian Gallery. And the Gallery is a documentary series that does an 8-episode, 30 minutes apiece background of every aspect of production for Mandalorian Season 1. They don't spoil anything about Season 2, so watch Season 1 and then watch the Gallery of Mandalorian. I am only 3 episodes in of the gallery, and right off the bat, the feel Nick was talking about, it's so phenomenal. I don't know anything about season 2, but I bet you they'll do a gallery for season 2 because season 1 was a unique experience. They had Taika Waititi, they had Bryce Dallas Howard, who's the redheaded chick that stars alongside freaking Star-Lord, a.k.a. what's his name, in the Jurassic World movies. Chris Pratt. Co-starring with Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, the redheaded chick in the first 2 Jurassic World movies, also does directing on her own and was hired to direct one of the episodes of The Mandalorian, specifically the episode where Mando and the shock trooper working for the rebellion teamed up and helped a farm community fight off a bunch of savages and an ATST. Freaking phenomenal episode, but every one of those episodes is uniquely directed. Taika Waititi wrote and directed with the help of all of them on one of those episodes, and because he also acts on the side. I don't know if you guys remember this, in Thor Ragnarok, that's one of his big debuts as a director, is he directed for Marvel and Disney Thor Ragnarok. He also acted as that rock creature in Thor Ragnarok, where he's like, "Hey guys, let's all,
Korg.
yeah, Korg, let's be peaceful. It's all good, hey man, I'll help you out." Guess what? He voiced the acting for IG-11, aka the bounty droid that's familiar with,
Nanny droid.
Boba Fett. Yes, I know you are speaking upon the season 1. Yes, Queel, the Ugnaught, reprogrammed him post-death to be a nanny droid, IG-11. And guess what? He was funny when Mando first met him. He was hilarious when Mando met him again as a nanny. And season 1 is just so fleshed out, and it's all cohesive because there is like a head leader, is a diehard Star Wars fan, to hire a bunch of intelligent, Star Wars fan-driven directors and writers to work on the Mandalorian series. And season 2 up to this point has continued my optimistic hope that it's going to be as good as season 1. Because there was a different director for every episode of season 1. And as dramatically different as those were, they all fit together and they all enriched our investment in the characters. The investment in the characters, that's what I love talking about, Nick, is our investment in the characters. When you get a good writer and a good director working side by side, and they can not only take you on an amazing journey of storytelling, but also get you invested, air quotes, guys, invested. That's when you know you've got a freaking firecracker of a franchise. Let's conclude with season 2. Let's get our feelings around where it's going right now, Nick, just so we don't keep going too far. How do you feel about season 2, first 2-3 episodes so far?
Like I said, it's world building. It's good. It's different. But I'm really enjoying it. They're making ties to other sources in Star Wars canon.
Yeah, they're tying into...
is great.
Yeah! I wanted them to do their own thing, but you can't have a complete amazing experience within a fandom like that without having some deep roots of connection. There are a lot of connecting tissues with other properties of Star Wars, and that excites me, but I'm not fluent in all of it. I'm going to mention the name Ahsoka. Was mentioned in the first 2 episodes here of The Mandalorian. Now, I'm going to leave it to you to give us the most gracious way of exciting us for what we should look for versus what you know.
Well, before we got into this season, any of us that were really excited about this followed all news coming into it. And there were a few spoilers that they let out to let us know, mostly with actresses and people that were going to be involved with the series. This season, we heard that Timothy Oliphant was going to be involved. We didn't know how. And I'm really happy with where they went with him.
I loved him in that episode. Completely blind to what you know. I loved it.
The two other people that they said would be in the season that I was really excited about because their previous roles in other Star Wars properties was Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica and Rosario Dawson.
Oh,
from Sin City, Zombieland, Double Tap.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson's in quite a few things lately, and she's getting more well known in the acting community. I like that.
One of my favorite roles for her recently was the nurse from the Marvel Netflix series.
Oh, interesting.
Do you remember?
I'm not caught up with some of those. Not all of them.
She was the nurse that helped Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. No, dude. Yeah,
she
totally.
was in a relationship with Luke Cage.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
I'm caught up with most of Daredevil and Luke Cage. Yep, totally. Wow. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, dude. Awesome. Freaking hey, man. Okay. So
yeah, it was great that they tied these other actors and actresses in here, not only because they're great performers, but because we know anything they're going to be in is going to be great.
Yeah, dude. Like, shoot, we reviewed Santa Clarita Diet, on a side note, while back, long time ago. It was a Netflix original series, and that's not the only thing he's been in or greatest thing, but, like, his comic timing is impeccable. And so to, like, transition from that to something not without comedy, but a little more serious and in a weird, for some people, a sci-fi setting, it was a breath of fresh air to just see how he took the role. Because he still had kind of his signature comical feel with his timing, but he was in like a science fiction dramatic role where he's charged as a sheriff to help the townsfolk that he came there to spend time with. That's the angle I'm going with, Nick. I don't know about you, but like there was comedy timing and it was well placed is all I'm saying.
To me, he played his character from Justified.
See, this even back with Santa Clarita Diet, this is one of the series that I never got into that I know you did, sir. And
yeah.
Hopefully people recognize that reference because Justified was well respected when it came out.
Oh yeah, no, he was a hot shot sheriff that would shoot first, ask questions later.
Right.
Lot of charm and wit because it's Timothy Oliphant. It's what we expect, what we know, what we love.
What we've come to expect. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
What I will say is this. Mandalorian Season 1 was infectious and incredible, and I feel like that is true for fans and new fans. Truthfully, I think the writers and directors put in enough into this show to make you question the history of these things. And I think people 20 plus years older than you have been so excited to explain some of these things. It's kind of like if you didn't have kids, now you do because of this series. If you sought out those nerdy kids, who are in their 20s, and you're like, damn, I need to school them. I hope it brings nostalgia and excitement to you guys. In conclusion, for our thoughts on... Oh, first off, we both enjoyed season 1. We've teased, alluded to, and I've had a painful process of editing out details about season 2. I don't know what we covered. I'll find out in the edit. Future editing Joe, you're going to enjoy yourself with keeping this one clean.
You're welcome.
Thank you, past Nick. Future Joe loves you deeply. Anyway, Nicholas, we're 4. You are. I'm not. You're 4 in. I'm 3. Need to watch the current weekend. But what's your hope for the season 2? Where it's going? What's your hope? They've alluded to Jedi. We've reiterated Yoda is Force sensitive, but we still don't know about El Pollo Loco from Breaking Bad with the dark lightsaber. We still don't know anything about him. I think, unless episode 4.
Hermanos.
Did episode 4 give away too much? Do you have to keep... Okay. So not to spoil everything for anyone tuning in, what's the best thing you can say about episode 4 and what you hope for the future?
I'm hoping for some epic Mandalorian Ahsoka Tano team up.
Ooh. Oh, me too. No. Yeah.
And
ooh.
I'm hoping towards the end of this season, because them bringing in all these other people, I'm hoping there's going to be like a big epic fight at the end of it, and they have to do like this Avengers Assemble type thing, where it's Mandalorian and all his friends that come out of the woodwork to help.
Oh dear!
To stop the bad guy.
So,
Moff Gideon, is it Moff Gideon?
Yeah, Moff Gideon. No, completely correct. Like, yeah, no, I had to inform the beautiful wife of mine about some of the details as she rewatched it. She watched it with me originally a year ago. We just rewatched it last week, so I'm pretty fresh on that. It's Moff Gideon, and what's funny is, like, she was thinking about the bald dude that originally, Urzog, I think is the actor's name, that originally gave Mando the proposition. And he said, sorry, I'm being a little pragmatic, when he told Mando, we'll take him dead or alive. And then the poor doctor there was like, that wasn't our agreement. And like, ideally, the scientists working for whoever this is would love Baby Yoda to be fully alive for the best experimental results. But Sir So-and-so said, we'll take him dead or alive. For a lesser fee, we'll take him dead. We just need the proof. And then in the finale of season 1, where they're trying to, I forget his name, but the guild leader where Mando got all his, pucks from for those bounties, was trying to strike a deal with him and say, hey, we both want we both want this client dead, which is El Pollo Loco. We both want this guy dead. Moff Gideon, we don't know anything about him. We just know he wants the asset alive, and he's creating problems for all of us. He's hunting you down, and he's causing problems for the guild. So both of us would benefit by eliminating him. And then he comes out with black stormtroopers, a full complement of regular stormtroopers, a unique TIE fighter whose wings fold like a freaking butterfly. Fold. I pointed that out to the wife. She's like, and I was very proud of her. She recognized it as a TIE fighter, but I was also like, honey, that ain't no regular TIE fighter. And the wings folded in half, and he dropped down, walked out in black armor, and wouldn't you know, he was a Moff. And we know Moff Moffs are like the highest of highest generals under Vader, because Moff Tarkin himself in the original trilogy was able to order around the experimentational targeting of Alderaan, Princess Leia's homeworld, with the newly built Death Star. Moff Tarkin. And so this guy's name is Moff Gideon. So we've never seen him before in any prior film, but he has the Moff name, so we know he's a high-ranking general of some type. Right, Nick?
Yep. And the person you were talking about before, the friend, the older guy, is Grief Karga.
Yeah, the guild leader
Yep.
kind of guy that passed out the bounties.
Played by Carl Weathers.
Yes, yeah. And he did a great job. He did a great job of being a sleuth, of semi-innocent for a minute, being a sleuth again, and then now we don't know what he is. Mm-hmm. But he also is not benefiting from Moff Gideon being around and slaughtering everyone in the town.
No, with what happens in episode 4, it more leans towards my thought that I really want things to happen. And still, we have not seen of the fabled person who was named before. And there has not been any Jedi, and I'm rather disappointed.
They do mention in the current season, they mention Jedi exist, at least. Or in recaps we've heard.
Freaking space wizards.
I know, space wizards, fuck. And I can't, pardon my language. If we want to monetize, I gotta bleep.
Didn't you say frickin'?
Frickin', that's what I said.
So why would you have to cut that out?
I'm kidding, Nicholas.
You're drunk.
So, Nicholas, what are our hopes for season 2? I have some, but I don't know. Do you have some like dreamy, hopeful directions for season 2?
Yes. Space Wizard Mandalorian team ups. And
okay. You're hoping really awesome. You're hoping for a Jedi Mandalorian connection at some point.
And with him also looking for the rest of his people, the rest of the Mandalorians, being a Star Wars buff myself, I would love to see a live action Basilisk battle droid.
Oh, that would be interesting. Question, Nick, with your nostalgic niche, I say niche because a basilisk is quite a unique creature, and then throw that into the mix, you get my point. So what I'm asking is, was not episode 6 of Mandalorian season 1 pretty profound with the way Mandalorians handle this is the way? If it need a little extra detail, I would implore you to remember that at the end of the episode, Mando himself said, I need to get me one of those. You remember that episode?
The jetpack?
Yeah, dude. The rocket jetpack. When episode 4 and 5 he didn't have one, and he was trying to make off with the asset, the child, Baby Yoda, and the chief of the guild, that dude that we just talked about, basically said everyone is gonna stop you here unless you hand over the child. And then all the Mandalorian members of that underground sect flew up into the air like frickin' Iron Man himself and just backed the crap up on him and protected him.
The Children of the Watch.
The Children of the Watch, the Foundlings, and they were like, in the midst of the chaos, he was like, you're going to have to relocate the sect because they've been underground this whole time. Even amongst Tatooine, they've been underground the whole time. Only one person shows their face at a time. They never come out as a group. And that one moment, they're all like, we need to protect Mando. We need to protect this foundling. And they did. Because that was his cause, to protect the child. We're going to protect the Mando foundling. And Mando himself is like, you're going to have to relocate the sect. He's like, don't worry about it. So he's like, shoot, all right. And he takes off. And as he's taking off at the end of the episode, he's like, I got to get me one of those. Responding to the guy, the Mandalorian with the jetpack that saluted him outside the Razor Crest. So freaking epic for a season ender there towards the end. Not even season ender. That wasn't the ending, but that was like such a pivotal part of season 1. And spoiler warning, we warned you before, but he ends up with one at the end of the season 1, and we're like, oh snap. But now we're talking about, or concluding with the idea. We're concluding. I don't want to throw that word out there. Concluding. Because we're trying to wrap up our thoughts. Season 2, you were saying you hope for what? Just reiterate what you hope for season 2 to do. After what we saw in season 1.
Jedi, Mando, team-ups.
Ooh. So we got in the first 3 episodes, we have a mild indication that Jedi exist. And my wife brought up a good point. She's like, wait, Mando has no idea about the Jedi? And I was like, honey, no, first off, I get it. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're like, who has never heard of the Jedi? But then, if we look back at season 1, there's a lot of people on the outskirts. And she's like, well, but Jedi... My wife kept saying, well, Jedi help the good people. They help the Republic, so why doesn't everyone know about them? And I was like, well, there are some people on the outskirts of the galaxy that are not regularly involved with anything about the Republic. There is such a wide stretch. And I said yes. Jedi do exist to help those in need. They're the guardians of peace. That's what we learned in the prequel trilogy. Yes, that's why Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan were summoned, was to help maintain peace for a political group within the Senate. If we like to dive into that aspect of Star Wars. But even for the hardcore fans, it's just, we also understand the Jedi are a group of samurai monk-like ninjas. They're not everywhere in the universe, and they don't protect. They are, but they don't protect every single life form.
After the order was carried out by Anakin.
Yep, 66.
Even the younglings.
I know. Yeah, I know.
There's very few left. It's not saying that they're all gone, but there's very few left. But technically, at this point in time where the show is at...
Right, is after... correct me, Nick, because I think I told my wife maybe an incorrect fact, but correct me if I'm wrong, my archivist hardcore nerd that I love deeply. Mando takes place a few years after the fall of the Empire, which was the death of the second Death Star. It's before the sequel trilogy 7 through 9. Is that correct? Does that sound right to you? The Mandalorian should take place after the fall of Darth Vader and Death Star 2?
In Star Wars canon, you know how, like, in our timeline we have 2000 BC.
Oh, I'm familiar with BC and AD, and I'm also familiar with Battle of Yavin and before the Battle of Yavin in the canon timeline. Yeah.
So where we are is ABY. So
after Battle of Yavin, Death Star 2, right?
Mandalorian takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, which is the destruction of the first Death Star.
Okay.
So this would be roughly 4 years. Yeah, this would technically be about 4 years after Luke Skywalker threw Darth Vader down, or not Darth Vader, threw the Emperor down the chute.
Oh, so
Not Luke
not.
Skywalker. So where Darth Vader threw the Emperor down the
Yeah,
chute.
yeah, yeah, but not the end of the final original.
That's the end. That's the end of the Return of the Jedi.
Return of the
This
Jedi,
is-
Episode 6, Star Wars,
Yes.
original film 3, film 6 of the story saga.
Yep.
Okay.
It's technically 9 years after the
9 years after all the little
rebellion
teddy
took off.
bears celebrated over the moon of Endor.
Yep. But if it helps you understand in the time frame, 34 ABY is when Force Awakens happens.
34
where everything
years.
with the 34 years later is when everything with
Rey, Bo, and Finn.
Rey- yeah.
Poe
The
and
First
Finn.
Order.
Yeah, and the First Order, which was not known as the Empire, which is why in the Mandalorian they constantly talk about the fall of the Empire, or this is post-Empire reign. This is other right. There's tons of indications is after the Death Star 2 and the Empire dying, with no more Darth Vader, no more Emperor. It was just a bunch of right. You know what I'm saying, and you're confirming that, yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason why we don't hear about people, why we don't see like Princess Leia, and we don't see Han Solo, and we don't see Luke Skywalker and all of them, is because they're this is all happening in an outer rings of everything. This is so far removed from everything, and they keep it that way. This is like the best way I can describe it is it's the Wild Wild West. This is the outside of everything. No one comes out here.
Dude, I love the fact that, well, first off, timelines aside, the fact that no matter what galaxy this is in, it's such an expansive area of space, even from like a nerdy science perspective, that's really easy to pull off because, I mean, that's the thing about the original saga. Even if we look at all 9 films, the whole saga is focused on specific family members, specific interactions with that family line, and it doesn't necessarily have to dictate all the side events that could have either come under siege or been affected by all the events from the Skywalker saga, as what we are calling it now, the 9 movies. And so what's cool about Mando is, like Star Wars Rogue One, which was one of those very successful offshoot films, it was a side story that led up to the culmination of Episode 4. It was the story about the squadron and the groups of people involved in helping that happen. And to a lesser degree, unfortunately not as successful, the Solo film about Han Solo's origin. Same idea, that's what Disney was going for. It's unfortunate it didn't do better, but I am so stoked that The Mandalorian has done as well as it has, because there's such a rich direction that can keep going in. And we don't know what that is yet, but it does take place after the second Death Star is gone, but before Rey, Poe, and Finn begin their journey. So there's a lot of years of exploration we can experience with the right kind of writers at the helm. So, Nick, I'm gonna conclude with this: is that I'm as invested 3-4 episodes in now as I was for the whole season 1. Where are you at? Are you feeling the same? Are you down for the whole season of season 2?
Oh, I'm down for the whole season. It's Mandalorian.
Dude, this is the way, Nick. It's so good.
Even though I think they've kind of went lax on their writing a little bit, it's still, and I will fight people over this. It's still one of the best science. It's still one of the best futuristic sci-fi westerns, even better than Firefly. Yeah, bring it, people.
Whoa. I'm going to leave a moment for comments down below. You heard the heat there, guys. Did you hear that? Nick knew what he was saying when he said it.
Well,
Joking aside, I can't fault him for that opinion. Whether all his friends around him were diehards or not, a Firefly, or whether everyone wants
Firefly was great.
Yeah, and my point, Nick, my only point, is that's the thing, guys, is Nick openly tells you, all of you watching right now, that he loves and appreciates Firefly. But the significance of the writing for this Mandalorian Season 2 somehow outweighs that. So he says, bring it. So I do implore you. I don't implore negativity. I don't implore outright fighting. But guys, we always implore difference of opinions. We always implore strong, really strong, structured conversations about anything nerdy. So, now's your time to shine, guys. And I want to bring a different challenge to this particular end of this episode, guys. I challenge anyone to bring a plausible, strong argument against anything going on in The Mandalorian, and also even anything comparable to Firefly. Joss Whedon, rest in peace. I'm kidding. He's still alive today, guys. That's not my point. What I'm saying is, fans, hardcore fans, this is one of these challenges I want to bring to you guys. It's in the comments below. The best, strongest opinion on why something is better than the other, I will take notes of it. I will shout you guys out in the comments, and we will make a part 2 episode of this opinion of Firefly versus Mandalorian, because I think that would just be good, nerdy fun. Not because I want to tear anyone down. I don't want anyone's feelings hurt. I just want to hear the hardcore of hardcore talk about their thoughts between the two franchises, the two series, the two writing structures. I think it'd be great debate. And I will bring in a differing opinion, someone who that does not align with us. If we get comments down below, guys, I will bring in someone that agrees with you and bring him on board. And we'll fight tooth and nail for fun. Because that's what we nerds do. Debates, passions, love. Come on, bring it, guys. Bring it. This is one of the few times I invite this level of animosity amongst franchises for the pure, simple idea of debating just for fun, because I think it would be awesome. Nicholas, I love your thoughts. I love my thoughts. I love their thoughts. I love everything going on with The Mandalorian as a whole. I also love the passions of other franchises that forthwith you have mentioned. And that being said, dude, this ended up being a Mandalorian Season 2 dive deep passion conversation. But I'm still going to label this podcast episode 96, guys, because it's going to help facilitate us. 4 more episodes, guys. I got a guest speaker, a dearly loved friend of ours, coming back into the fold for a guest appearance next episode. Episode 97, he'll be a part of. It'll be a film conversation, to be sure.
Oh, he's going to be on next week?
That is the plan, Nicholas. I know. Maybe a shock to you. Hope you're on. Hope Matt's on. But I've got a certain Paul Roman jumping on next week for some film topics and conversation. As a guest
Hide the
speaker.
bleach.
Yeah, hide the bleach. Hide the bleach. I hope he appreciates that joke. And, guys, episode 100 is a reunion celebration. So stick around, guys. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do a lot of gaming on this show, but we also talk deep about nerdy passions. So, that being said, thank you for listening. For me and my cohort Nick tonight, thank you for watching, and as always, our fellow nerds, we'll see you on the other side. Boom! Nailed it. I nailed it on my end. I waited for you to sit just at the right moment, Nick. Sorry if I took advantage of you in that moment.